the Chicago Triathlon, and I'm just going to ask you just a few quick questions. Obviously, you've done a lot of long course stuff, and now you're doing this short course. So what's this race kind of meaning to you as far as your schedule in the year?
Well, this is the final tune-up before Kona. This will be my last race before my final block of training, getting ready for Ironman in October.
Yep.
Coming off a half Ironman last weekend, so we're just going to come out and try to go as fast as we can and see what happens.
And what was last weekend?
Timberman.
7.3
up in Guilford, New Hampshire.
Yep. Okay, so that's closer to home for you.
It was a hometown race for us. My triathlon team at home, Team Psycho, had a big presence there, so it was
nice.
It was great to have a lot of friends out on the race course. I was able to bring my husband with me and my dog, and it felt like hometown, yeah. right. And obviously we've heard a lot about Team Cycle this year with the whole RAM and race across America. Yeah, they're crazy.
So let me ask you a little bit just about what you did before you came to triathlon, because that's kind of a, you know, everybody has a progression.
Story.
Yeah.
An odd career change.
Yeah.
I was a collegiate swimmer and actually swam 2 years post-collegiately. Retired from swimming and went to work. Got my master's degree at Wharton and went to work on Wall Street for 8 years. And then found
Were you trading, or were you?
I was a trader. Yep.
Okay,
I worked on a trading desk for a sell-side firm in New York.
Okay, what did you trade?
I would trade the over-the-counter stocks. I was a NASDAQ trader.
Oh, okay.
Computer hardware and PC stocks.
Oh, right in the hot days, or?
Right in the hot days.
Nice.
Yeah, the good old days.
The good old days.
And then we relocated to Boston, and I worked for a mutual fund company in Boston, and I traded everything across the board. I worked for 3 different portfolio managers, different product groups, and tried Ironman just to see if I could do it. And
you had a knack for it.
Qualified for Kona, finished top amateur, and was introduced to Karen Smyers, my coach in Boston. And after a couple years as an amateur, she said, "Would you ever consider quitting your job and racing professionally?" And I thought, yeah, actually I would. So
forget waking up early. The Bloomberg, forget about that.
Yeah, who needs the paycheck? Yeah. It's much better.
Oh, great. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you know, you've won Ironmans in the past, and now, you know, everybody's kind of, also gearing up for Ironman this year. Is there anything, like, different that you did this year versus last year as far as training, or are you starting to, you know, will you still have another 2 or 3 solid blocks and then start tapering down, or how?
Yeah, I have a good bit of training left before me, before going to Kona, but I love the long stuff, so looking forward to it. This year's been a little bit different. I've struggled in the past with my run, so we focused very much on the run in the early season, and I had some good results, some good run splits early on, and worked a lot on my nutrition, and I've also started working with a strength coach, which has helped a lot on the bike.
Oh, wow, okay. So let me ask you this, as far as volume goes, let's say in the next 2 or 3 weeks, you know, as far as like miles and you know, or running or whatever, how do you think you'll structure that?
Whatever Karen tells me.
Oh, okay. Whatever the coach says.
Whatever she says, I do, and then maybe a little bit more.
You sneak in extra workouts.
No, I try not to. I try not to let my OCD get the best of me, but I trust Karen, and she's clearly one of the best at what she does.
Yeah.
And whatever she says goes.
Okay, great. Well, good luck at the race today.
Thank you.
Again.
Okay.
Her was in Racine, which is actually just an hour and a half north of here, and we were just talking a little bit about her racing, which I guess she has Singapore next week. So is this kind of a lead up to that, or?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm doing actually 3 in a row. I'm going to do Chicago this race, and then
LA?
Singapore and LA. So yeah, just sort of racing, keeping the season interesting, breaking up the training.
Yeah.
But everything really now is geared towards 7.3 world. So
yep.
That's
yeah, well, and obviously you're known for being a pretty fast runner. What do you think about this race course? You know, kind of what's the, obviously on the bike it seems you just got to put your head down and crank away.
Look, I don't even know. This is my first time to Chicago.
Oh, okay.
So I'll see when I get out there, I guess.
I
couldn't really see much of it yesterday, so from what I gather, yeah, it's just a flat-out time trial and see what happens by the end. Okay,
well, great. Well, good luck at Singapore, and maybe we'll see you at Clearwater.
Yeah.
Here again at the Chicago Triathlon, and just want to talk to you about your race. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've done up to this point during the 2007 year?
Right, this year I decided to go long course. Main focus was later in the year with Hawaii.
Yep.
So I started off with the 101 races.
Yep.
I thought would be a great stepping stone.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they have been struggling with numbers and a few other things, and I think they've had to cancel the series. So,
yep.
But I'm glad I did 2 of those. I think it was a good way to get an insight to nutrition and everything for long course races.
Right.
But I won both of those so far, and won Alcatraz and the I2 Long Distance Worlds up to now. So I've had some good races, and just these little ones, I think they're always good just to keep a bit of speed and